You guys all, I'm sure you guys all oil your saddles, clean your saddles at least once a month. I'm sure you do that.
Twice a year?
Once a year.
What do you guys clean your saddles with? If you had to clean the saddle, I guess I'll just tell you what I would do. The first thing I would do is I'd get an old toothbrush. And if you had access to an air compressor, take your air hose. Or if you had a real strong vacuum, you could use a vacuum too. Air compressor is just going to blow dust everywhere. But air compressor is better because you can get down into the nooks and crannies of leather. And with the help of the toothbrush, you can loosen things up. If the saddle was really dirty and dusty, the first thing I would do is hit it with the air hose. You guys know what an air hose is, or a little nozzle. Okay, so loosen everything up with that toothbrush and do your air compressor. Try to get the initial layer of of dust and dirt off, and then go back after it with the toothbrush. If it's really dirty, if it's really muddy, you might use a wet sponge just with water. I don't really encourage using water to the point of saturation, because that will help dry the leather out. Because if you're saturating the leather with water, you're getting past the oils in the water or in the leather, and then you're going to end up drying it out. And you don't want to take it to the point of, it wouldn't be the point of no return, but it would be the point of having to oil it because it's so dry. So if you maintain the moisture in the leather, then you never have to really, or the cleanliness, somewhat the cleanliness of the leather, you don't ever have to really get that wet to clean. They have products like saddle soap. Really, if you're on top of your stuff, I mean, if you only do it twice a year, that's good. That's good. That's better than most guys.
Okay.
I was just saying twice a week or twice a month. I probably haven't cleaned my stuff in that long, but you know, the cobbler and the shoe, right?
Yeah.
What to use on leather? The simplest thing you can use on this kind of leather, and there's just about no product out there that's not going to darken leather, unless it's already tan dark or dyed dark. You guys see new saddles where they're the way lighter J saddle. It's really light. There's just about no product out there that's not going to darken leather when you go to condition. So the simplest thing you can do or use is olive oil.
Oh, wow.
And there's another thing that guys always used in the saddle making industry, leather crafters industry. It's called neat's foot oil. You guys seen that?
Yeah.
The problem with neat's foot oil is it's inconsistent.
Okay.
Depending on where you get it, if it doesn't say 100% neat's foot oil, it could have other things in it that aren't pure oil. And the neat's foot oil is derived from an animal. It's an animal byproduct of some kind. Who knows what it really is from? So when I say it's inconsistent, why would you use that? Because they always say, well, back in the day it used to be better. Well, everything used to be better back in the day. You used to be able to get consistent everything back in the day. Well, olive oil is a food product, so you know it's going to be consistent. So you could use olive oil, and you just do a light coating of olive oil on everything. And all you're trying to do is keep the moisture and the pliability in the leather. You don't have to saturate it. Do not saturate it. You're just putting a light coat on it. And what you could do also with the olive oils before you put it on is you could just put it in a pot, put it on your stove. You just warm it up. Especially if you guys are doing it outside where it's cold. Ideally, you'd want to bring it in the house, put it next to your wood stove, fireplace, where it's warm. But either way, even if you do that, heating up the oil really helps. Because it's going to leather is skin, right? It's no different than your skin. I'm sure you guys use ladies especially, use all kinds of products on your skin. It's the same thing. You want to moisturize it and try to keep it from getting dried out. But again, the key there is not to oil it to the point of saturation, because what happens when you oil it to the point of saturation is it breaks down the fibers on the leather and it's going to weaken it. So you're just trying to get a top coat on there, just like suntan lotion, right?
So again, are you using like a sponge or?
So, yeah, you could use a sponge,
Okay.
but you don't want to saturate the sponge, so you got to wring it out. You're just trying to get a little bit on there. You're dipping it, rubbing it,
Okay.
What I use, and if you guys have access to a saddle shop anywhere close to you, they're always going to have drops from this sheep's wool, and that's what I use. You cut a square of that sheep's wool, and just get you a little square about that big, and trim it, because the pile on it's going to be pretty thick. So you trim it off with a pair of scissors, so it's not the pile isn't falling off everywhere and making a mess of your saddle. That's what I use. But you could use a sponge. You just want to make sure the sponge is a sponge and it doesn't have all kinds of dyes and coloring and all kinds of stuff.
What do you recommend for like rough out?
Rough out, okay. Good question. There you go. So saddle makers will ship, if you buy a new saddle, saddle makers will almost always ship one of these over the horn. And they'll send that with your new saddle. Sometimes they'll put this over the back of the camel and they box it up and ship it to you. But you guys can go to also Tandy Leather. Tandy Leather should sell this. They probably sell those squares just for doing what I'm talking about. So, rough outside of the leather is no different than the smooth outside. So if you had a rough out saddle, rough out seat and fenders, rough out everything, no different.
Okay.
Because I guarantee you the saddle maker does exactly what I'm talking about with every part of the saddle, or at least they should, before final assembly of the saddle. They'll do it with either neatsfoot oil or olive oil. Most of the saddle makers I know anymore, they just use olive oil.
Huh.
I've used neatsfoot oil for years, but I'm switching over to olive oil just because I can go to Walmart and buy it by the gallon. So that brings up the bottom side is always going to be, it depends on which way your saddle's built, but you're going to take everything apart. You're going to take your stirrup off. You're going to take your stirrup hobbles off. You're going to clean everything up. Right here, you're always going to have horse sweat. So this is where the sponge and the water is going to come in. And you're going to wipe this down and try to get all the sweat off, or the dirt and the grime, whatever you've got on here before you go back to the oil. And as far as the oil is concerned, oil everything. Everything you can get to, oil it.
Even the Latigo?
Even Latigo.
Okay.
Yep. There's other products, there's leather conditioners out there. So when your saddle gets kind of too far past just the general oil stage, there's leather conditioners where you need to condition the leather and try to bring it back up to life. And it's like a product called Skidmore's makes saddle butter. That's a different product by Ray Holt, which I sell. I have it on the website. And then there's another one called R.M. Williams saddle dressing. Those are the top three that I know of. You can get by with just oil on top of your stuff. The other thing I was going to talk about was mold. You guys get mold on your leather out here, especially because it's damp, right? Do you know that mold will not grow on dry leather? So the fact that you have mold on your leather is actually a sign that your leather is well conditioned.
Yes.
You guys know how to clean mold, what to do with mold.
No.
So you just take a 50-50 mix of vinegar, white vinegar, and water, put it in a spray bottle, spray it on the mold. It's going to kill the spores of the mold. After you do that, you're going to wipe it down. You might have to spray it again. Try to get once the mold spores get in there, they're always going to be in there. But you can kind of abate the spores with the vinegar. And then you're going to go back and do your oil process after that. There's almost no way. If you've got your tack outside, depending on what it is, you're almost always going to have something with a little bit of mold on it. And if it's just a little bit, you can knock it off and boil it. But if it's big, vinegar and water and spray foam. You just do a light coating of it on there. Let it sit. Let it kill the mold. Well, I should take that back. You should brush the mold off first before you spray it. Use a toothbrush or a stiff brush or an air hose. Try not to breathe it.